Throughout this month of December, we've been celebrating the holiday using the traditional Advent wreath. And each week we've lit a candle, first of love, then adding to that peace, and then joy. Hope is first. Thank you, Donna. Hope first, then peace, then joy. And today, I'm going to get this one right, love. Love. That which God is, that which is the very substance of the universe, and that which we are as well. And so we celebrate not just with those four candles, but with, if you notice, a white candle in the middle, which is the Christ candle. Of course, we are remembering that babe in the manger who grew up, who led, who taught Jesus the Christ. But we celebrate also the fact that the Christ is within us. Christ in us, the hope of glory. How big do you think the largest orchestra in the world was? Anybody got a guess? I don't know. Just take a guess of how many orchestra members there might have been in the Guinness World Book of Records, and how many people were in the orchestra? 150. That's low, but a good try.
Is this a regular orchestra, or is this a specially?
This was specially brought together for this, huh?
1,000.
Well, 500. Okay, wait. She's splitting the difference. 750. No.
684.
This could go on, couldn't it? Well, I will take us out of our suspense. It was 12,000 musicians. 12,000 musicians. The orchestra brought together by El Sistema, the National Musical System of Venezuela. And in 2021, 12,000 musicians, as young as 12, as old as 77, came together and played a Tchaikovsky Slavic dance, about 12 minutes long, pretty considerable. The conductor was shown on a big screen. It was an exciting time because it was going to be a record. But the conductor said this to his musicians: if you break a string, don't stop. If you lose the score, go on by heart. But don't stop. That conductor was able to bring that orchestra of 12,000 members together to play an incredibly difficult classical piece. And guess what they did when they finished? All the musicians raised their instruments above their head in celebration. So we're going to use this as a metaphor today, the orchestra. Even an orchestra as large as 12,000, or it could be a very small orchestra, or even a string quartet that produces harmony, that comes together, and that inspires. So, remember, we're talking about love. And it's so easy to have 1,000 ideas about what love is, a love language, or how this word was translated, or toward this group of people or that person. Different kinds of love. But we're going to settle for the basic and fundamental understanding of love today. And it's not love for an object. It's easy for us to put that object out there as being important. It's not, I love ice cream, and it's not the object of a person. I love my partner. I really love my partner. But love is more than that. One of the best definitions or keys to what love is that I have seen, read in a book by Linda Martelowitz that, what's the name of that book?
Divine Audacity.
Divine Audacity, talking about the 12 powers of unity. There's a few things that are out of my mind this morning. Excuse me. And she quotes Erich Fromm, a German psychologist and philosopher. And I've excerpted a little bit. And Erich Fromm says, love is not primarily a relationship to a specific person. It is an orientation of character, an activity, a power of the soul, determined by the relatedness of a person to the world as a whole. Well, that's an interesting concept of love. We're not focusing on one thing, one object, or one person, but we're focusing on the character of love that we are, and it goes out to all. Love is a gift, of course, we know, of the divine creator. We celebrate it as one of the 12 powers in unity. Love, the ability to harmonize, the ability to attract, the ability to unify. So let's go through those three things today about love, and maybe we'll come away with a different understanding of what love is, because if we can have that fundamental understanding of love, all the other expressions of love in our life are going to take on more meaning. I put together a key spiritual truth, as I sometimes do. The power of love brings us together, binds us together, and lifts us up. Let me say it again. The power of love brings us together, binds us together, and lifts us up. So, love harmonizes. Just like that orchestra that comes together, all of the various instruments in the orchestra are playing different notes, but those notes come together in harmony. They tune, musicians do. Remember at the beginning of an orchestral performance, you may see instruments all tuning to one person. They tune and come together to create a harmony. But remember that we're saying love is an orientation of character. And we are bringing together in our life experience what is sometimes seems to be separate. Not just that 12-year-old musician, not just that 77-year-old, but a raft of people from different backgrounds are coming together. And the same is true for us. The same is true for our world, our community, our globe. We are not separate, but we are one. And love is the process of bringing us together to experience that oneness. It's affirming the oneness that we are. How often do we affirm oneness? We are one. We are one. Sometimes those separate things seem to be opposite from one another. Those separate experiences, those separate points of view. But the poet Rumi explains something in very simple terms to us. He says, watch two men washing clothes. One makes dry clothes wet, the other makes wet clothes dry. They seem to be thwarting each other, but their work is a perfect harmony. Every holy person, and I would say every person, because we're all holy, seems to have different doctrine and practice, but there's really only one work. And that work is exemplified in this first aspect of love, the harmony, the harmonizing that goes on. when that which seems separate becomes one in truth. Not only does love harmonize, it unifies. Charles Fillmore, one of Unity's co-founders, puts it this way, a metaphysical understanding of love. Love, says Fillmore, is the pure essence of being that binds together the whole human family, the power that joins and binds. That conductor in that musical organization had a real job to unify, to bring together 12,000 musicians to produce harmony, to produce an inspiring experience. But when we talk about bringing people together, so often we forget. We're not just talking about bringing ourselves here at Unity of Payson, or those of you who are with us online, Unity of Payson in a different geography. We're talking about every one who is part of that human family. The ones who don't agree with you politically. The ones who don't like your lifestyle. The ones that don't like the way you look. There's a acronym called DEI. You know what that means? Diversity, equity, and inclusion. Love that sees things as a whole, welcomes diversity. Diversity enriches, enlivens that wholeness. Love is completely and absolutely fair. No one is more than anyone else. No one is less than anyone else. You are not more than anyone else. I am not less than anyone else. Equity. A truth of the oneness, a truth of the Creator's expression, love. And inclusion. All of God's children, all of the human family, doesn't matter. They are loved just as they are because they're part of that oneness. And so when we think of unifying and bringing together, we carry with us those values of diversity, equity, and inclusion. And there's one more aspect of this love. Love magnetizes. You ever get involved with something or some people that you know, and you're just so attracted, you can't let it go. You have to go back again and again. You have to stay with that. That's the power of love. When put together with those other aspects of love, it's an amazing thing. Charles Fillmore again said, love is the drawing power of the mind. This is the place that I really like, how we often say love and light together. Light is what draws people. Light is what illuminates people. That magnetic light that is the visible expression of love. Matthew 5, the Sermon on the Mount, puts it this way. You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. Light, that visible expression of love. If you get an email from me, there's a little signature at the bottom of that. Neal.Unity of Payson comes in. Look at the bottom sometimes. It says this. And I made that signature a long time ago. Walk in the light. Live in the light. Be the light and shine brightly. That love that is light lifts us. How about a gloomy day and suddenly the sun breaks through? Our spirit is lifted. The same is true on a spiritual level. Love and light expressing it raises us up. And when we express that as divine expressions, we raise others up as well. We all rise up together. It seems like the little effort we make to lift up is so small, but yet so important. We all rise up because of that. Is it yet a vision, a dream for us to see a world that's experienced that lifting up? Yes, but we hold the truth of that, knowing that in God's good time, we will see it with our own eyes. I like this little quote. I like some of these poets, Rumi and Hafez. If you haven't gotten a chance to read them, you can find it real easily. Hafez says this: I once asked a bird, how is it that you fly in this gravity of darkness? She responded, love lifts me. So these three things, that spiritual truth that I expressed to start with, the power of love brings us together, binds us together, and lifts us up. How do we do that? I'm suggesting three things. This one works for me. Love, as you might guess, is the opposite of fear. Or at least it's on the other side of a fear. The love that we have as a need in our lives is opposed to the fear that sometimes grips us. So let go of that fear. Gerald Jampolsky, a student of A Course in Miracles, writes, Love is letting go of fear. It's the title of a small book with great little cartoon characters in it. I love cartoons. Let go of fear. What works for me is this. The statement, this fear that I have, when fear comes upon me, this fear that I have, this blank, whatever it is, name it. This is not the truth of me. The truth of me is love. So first, how do I do it? This fear, this whatever it is, this is not the truth of me. Affirm that. If you get in the practice of affirming that, it'll change you. Remember how this love is the character of us. The soul experience waiting to be recognized and really put out there. Put the power of your soul to work. First of all, lift yourself up. Are you down? Don't grovel in it. Don't let it run through your mind again and again and again, this horrible thing that may have happened to you. Change your perspective. Lift your gaze. Look up to the truth that you are love. That we are one. So ask yourself, have I lifted myself up today? Have I lifted myself up? That'll give you a good start. And then who else have I been able to lift up today. And then finally, pay attention to your inner conductor, that Christ within you. All the musicians had to pay attention to the conductor or they wouldn't produce a harmony. Pay attention to the Christ within you. That's equivalent to turning on the light. You have a little candle and a little holder. I think everybody's got one. If anybody doesn't, raise their hand, we'll get you one. I don't have one, Pam. Could you bring me one? So I forgot to get one myself. No, Pam's bringing me one. Thank you so much, Pam. Oh, I get one with a little wreath on it. I want you to do this, knowing that lifting up is turning on the light. Even now, we're still talking, and we'll really enjoy this when we get into our meditation, but turn it upside down, that candle, and switch on the little switch. Got it? I don't know if I can see my notes now, but no, that's okay. You can stay like that. I'll wing it. Pay attention to your inner conductor, that light within which illuminates, which dispels the darkness, which lifts you up. So I go back to that orchestra. And I remind you that this inner light in us all isn't going to be very effective if we're not paying attention to it. So pay attention to this inner light. Pay attention to it because it is the expression of love, harmonizing, unifying, yes, and even inspiring love. That key spiritual truth again is the power of love brings us together, binds us together, and raises us up. We're going to stay close to that quiet time, and Cinnamon Twist is going to, as a meditation song, sing the Christmas song that's quiet and inspiring and life and light-giving, Away in a Manger. And then we'll go on to a time of meditation. Keep your light on.